Bob says, Drek, Nick walks the path of self-destruction. You must face him to bring him back to the light.
Yeah.
Everybody relies on you to save his ass.
I know, right? Like, but this is the thing though, man. One of the things about being an adult, you are always accountable, especially as a fucking man, because men don't get out of their situation by saying like I was coerced, right? That's what females get to do. Yeah. I was tricked, I was coerced, I was threatened. Dudes, you gotta man up. And anyone out there, man, like I said, man up. Like I've always said, I wasn't there for shit. Like that's just one thing. Like I don't have like juicy tidbits for people where they're like, I bet I'm ready. Drex is gonna say something. But say what? I wasn't there. I haven't been to Nick's house in almost a year. Right?
Yeah.
July.
Well, it was the same thing as I think we talked about this before, like recently, is where Nick kind of just stopped talking to a lot of people. And I mean, everybody has said this that knows Nick, Nina, everybody. Like, yeah, he just kind of stopped talking to people for like 9 months, 10 months now. So, like, yeah, obviously, because that's what I said. I'm like, have you talked to Nick lately? Like 2 months ago, and you're like, nope. I'm like, yeah, like I don't know what's going on, man. That was before all this fucking went real bad, like real.
Yeah, and here's the thing though, what people got to understand is that when something does go real bad, there's a lot that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Cody, in general, right? Just throughout your life, how many times has something happened where when someone asks you about it, you're like, yeah, I don't know. Like there's just details you don't know. You actually like you may not even have access to. Like, you know what it reminds me of though? It reminds me of the people who always say what they're going to do, right? I'll tell you what I would do if this happened. And then like when the shit does happen, what do they do, Cody? Sit there, bitch up.
Yeah.
They ain't gonna do shit.
I have an interesting hypothetical for you. And feel free to answer this if you're comfortable, because it's just I have a curious brain.
Yep.
If you would have known some of the intricacies of what was alleged to be going on with the whole Nick situation, would you have reported it?
Okay, kid stuff. That's tough. It's tough because once again, that becomes like a did it happen? Did it not happen? Usually, you're going to get rumors about that. Most information.
Well, that's why you say alleged for sure. Yeah,
like alleged. So it's like what are we talking about? But like in terms of if someone talked to me about drug use, or if you asked me about like any swinger shit, any of that kind of weirdo shit. For those people who know, I mean, I think that part of the information got out where I said, what did I say? I was going to go there that Saturday, right? But the arrest happened on a Thursday, so that's why I didn't go. You see what I'm saying? Because remember, once again, Cody, I was living my life. I saw that initial video clip that everyone else saw, right? I'm like, oh, you see what I'm saying? Reach out to the parents. I'm like, this is not okay. So, but remember, I was working because that was early in the week. I was working. So I was like, okay, well, as soon as I'm not working, I'll get out there. Obviously, I wasn't in time. So here we are, right? But I'm one of those people, this is well known about me. The reason why, I don't have certain types of stories is that people don't even do certain shit around me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I know people who have done drugs or do drugs. They've never done it around me. So that's why when someone asks me, what about this? Dude, it never happened. Not around me. Like I'm not saying what they do on their own time. No one has ever snorted a line of coke in front of me in my whole life. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've been around people who smoke weed. Okay. Yeah, sure. And when I was young, people asked me, like I'd be at the mall. Hey man, you smoke? No, I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. Oh, okay. And they just left you alone. And it is for that reason that there's no such thing as fucking peer pressure. I'm tired of that narrative being pushed, right? There's no such thing as peer pressure. There's no such thing as anxiety. There's no such thing as fucking depression, all this other bullshit. And you know why? Because Cody, if someone told you you are either going to be that thing or fucking die, right? You go against the wall, they suddenly are cured, right? Oh, I guess I'm not anxious anymore. I guess I'm not depressed anymore. I guess I'm not a drug addict anymore. See? So did it really exist? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People make their choices because they're allowed to, right? And then they insulate themselves with people and things that enable them, right?
Yeah.
When you go to lift, think about it. Cody, would you go lifting with somebody who has no interest in lifting? Does that make sense to you? Because they're going to drag you down, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you go to the gym. If you have a workout partner, it's someone who also is similar in, body physique. That's why you ever notice, like, like, let's say we talk about juice heads, right? When have you ever gone to the gym and seen a juice head with like a scrawny dude? Because they're not equally yoked, right?
Yeah.
A juice head is similar in size. Okay. Just like when women go out like dancing or clubbing or thotting, they tend to be with women who are going to enable or are okay with what they're doing, right? They're usually the same. We know this. So why are people pretending that this is not true? This is not human behavior. This is human nature.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, exactly.
if I'm anti-drugs and you want to do drugs, wouldn't I be the one to stop you? I'm going to constantly be trying to stop the thing, right?
Yeah.
You don't want that if that's what you want. What you want is someone that's going to say, here's more, right? Do more. Yeah, this is fun. I would never allow no shit like that. For anybody out there who wants to know, I don't allow drugs, man. I've never wavered on my stance. That's been my stance my whole life. No drugs, no drinking, no alcohol, nothing. It's just no go.
So, speaking hypothetically, if you saw some serious drug shit, you wouldn't be all right with it.
No, absolutely not. But now you see the problem though, because people never would even do the drug. You see how like I'm not really, because like I said, Cody, nobody's gonna pull out drugs in front of me, right? If I know you, I don't mean if I don't know you. If I don't know you, you don't know me from Adam. But if I know you, we have a relationship. No one's gonna be like, yeah, I know Drex's stance on this, and I know Drex won't allow this. So we know what I'm gonna do? Dump a line of coke. Not gonna happen. But if it happened, if I walked in on something, absolutely, this shit's not flying, man.
Yeah,
you're gonna get checked.
The issue is, and like Jenna said in the chat a minute ago, like addicts don't give a fuck. Especially if you try to like insinuate at all that you want to help them at all, they immediately like, yeah, I'm not talking to them ever again. Because now if I talk to this person, they're just going to want to know if I'm okay, and they're going to try to fix me, and there's nothing wrong with me. That's how an addict sees things. If you insinuate there's something wrong with them, they hate you for it.
I agree. Well, you're holding them accountable, and I just think that it's one of those things, right, where it's like this is why there's a need for positivity, right? Because there's so little of it left that it kind of basically proves that that's little left that we have is worth fighting for, and the vices that are out here for people, right? And this is for anybody, because I've seen this before in the past. I've seen people who went down a certain path, and I'm like looking at them like, bro, why? I've seen family members, I've seen friends. I'm just looking at them like, so I guess this is my fundamental issue with all of this shit, Cody. Before you go down the path, you can acknowledge that path doesn't work, right?
I feel like universally everybody agrees.
Everyone agrees with that, right? Like I've never heard someone say, you know what? No, man, if I start doing heroin, my life's gonna get better. Said no one ever, right? So when a person has never done heroin, they look at people who have ruined their lives, but they go, this person's fucking, they're stupid. Why would they do this? This is terrible. So then when you see someone doing it, you're like looking at them like, what the fuck? Like, what is your issue now? Oh, I don't got a problem, right? Yeah. They're sitting there twitching and scratching. You're looking at them like, dude, what? So I want people to know, man, that like, if you see somebody like actually like falling, struggling, like you physically see it, right? The only thing you can really do is to like interject, step in, and do your best to like correct the problem. The moment somebody basically says, I'm not going to correct it, man, fuck it. It is what it is.
That's how it is. Yeah. Like
it is.
You can send a text and be like, hey, are you all right? And that's that's kind of like, especially if I live fucking 1,000 miles away, like that's all you can do is send a text and be like, hey man, you all right? And it's usually either not responded to or it's, yeah, I'm fine. And then that's the end of it. You can't fucking do anything. People think you have power, especially over like addiction. You don't. Like no one does. I'm still the individual.
But Cody, I'm baffled the internet doesn't realize that, or they realize they just don't care because it's about their narrative. And when it comes to their narrative, my thing is like this: the same people who hyper criticize, right? Ask them about their life, right? Okay, let's be honest. Everyone knows an alcoholic, and someone somewhere in your family or friends, someone knows an alcoholic, right?
Yeah.
Now ask them, hey, what did you do? What did you do to the alcoholic? What are they going to say, Cody? Well, I mean, there wasn't much I could do. Exactly. What were you going to do?
Yeah.
Okay, you could hide the bottles. You can tell them to get help. But if someone is a minor, you can actually force the issue, right? Because you can physically grab them because you have ownership of them, right? If a minor has a problem, you can forcibly, against their will, put them in treatment. You can't do that to an adult. And for people to not understand why that's a big deal, when like you said, someone goes, Cody, you all right? I'm fine, bro. Okay, I know he's not, but what do you want me to do? You're done.
Yeah. Dick Mooston says it's a yes or no question, Drex. I don't know.
Which is the yes or no question?
It was, would you, if you saw anything happening with children, would you have reported it? Something like that.
Yeah, because that's why I said like that's because it's a pending issue. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, in general, if I see something that's happening that is like just out of bounds, man, you have to. Because here's the thing: if there are people who are mandatory reporters,
yeah,
who like they have to, right, like on the spot, and when you are not that, you wind up in a very bizarro scenario, right? Because like think about it, Cody. Let's say you have a brother, and you see something that's out of that's out of bounds. If you report it in there, it could bring up a family and stuff. So it puts you in that weird like, what's right? Because is this a one-off, right? Is it a one-off thing? Is it you don't know? It is tough. It's very tough because, like I said, when you're on the outside looking in, you don't ever, first of all, you never expect to be in these situations, right?
Yeah.
No one ever talks about that because when someone says, "Hey, Cody, what about X?" Well, shit. If you've been around, like I always tell people, man, I remember the first time I ever saw someone have a seizure in front of me. I froze because I'd never seen a seizure before. But if I saw it now, I'd be able to react to it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just, and I will say this though, is one thing that bothers me about all of this. Can we all admit that like prevention is number one, right? Prevention is the medicine, right? That's like the cure. Because if you don't do X, you didn't do Y, you didn't do Z, right? You couldn't even get to Z. And so when someone says, "Hey, Cody, what would you do in the scenario X, Y, Z?" It's like, can we get to a point where people are like this? Can we? I've told you guys before. Can we stop with the drugs? Can that be like that? Can that be like the new thing? Like drugs becomes out of fashion. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, and for the booze, let me tell you something right now. Okay. If you need booze to have fun or to socialize or to get courage, you are bitch made. Because once again, Cody, what does alcohol tend to do to people? Does it make them better people? No. They tend to do dumb shit that gets them in jail, gets them to lose money. You remember that NFL player? I think his name is Henry Ruggs or something. Henry Ruggs III. He drove like 170 miles and like killed the chick. Remember that?
Yeah.
And the dog, it was in the. Oh, so think about that. He just signed a deal, right? He just signed a multi-million-dollar contract. It's all over.
Dude, that actually happens so much, so often. You'll hear about a college football kid that just signed, like, or just got a first round draft pick to whatever pro team or like second round, third round, and they literally get in a bar fight and kill somebody. The next day, and I'm like, this has happened like 5 times in
last. Like, stop, but Cody, that's my issue. What does it take for people to go like this? Can we just stop at the? Or how about this? If you go like this, Cody, I have to drink. I am incapable of living a life without booze. Just go like this. Have a rule. Can you just go into a shed that doesn't have any guns or anything that can hurt yourself further? You see all those commercials, right? You see the commercials where it says drink responsibly, right? Well, if there were heroin commercials or cocaine commercials or meth commercials, they'd be like, do it responsibly. Like, that sounds crazy, but like, think about it. How many people has alcohol killed or affected, right? Think about every alcoholic parent, every alcoholic friend that did something stupid, every DUI, manslaughter. Like, at what point, like why is this so hard for people? Just don't do drugs.
Yeah.
No, of any kind. Like let drugs just be like a thing that like people go like, there should be a time where people like this. Oh yeah, man, there was a thing that used to kill people and used to ruin lives. What was it? There was a thing called drugs. What happened to them? People just stopped doing them. Drex and Cody did a stream, and I don't know, it went viral. And this clip that said, look, can we just stop with the drugs and alcohol? Like, just for once in your life, like, wake up and go like this. I can have fun without drugs and alcohol. I can fuck without it. I can talk without it. I can work without it. Anything in your life, you should be able to do without drugs and alcohol. I don't know why this is difficult.
Well, that's where the issue of, like, I think convincing yourself that there's like medicinal properties to drugs, which was like, which is I want to. Yeah, it's a little silly. Because I'm like, come on now. Like, it depends on maybe and yeah, sure, a case can be made for like Adderall or something. But like cocaine, come on, come on now. And I think that's where the issue lies, is because then you start to like reach inside yourself and try to justify all these things you're doing and be like, well, actually, this is good for me, and I need to keep doing this, or else, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, this is good for me, this is good for me, and this is good for me now. And when you like convince yourself of these things, suddenly your perspective is skewed. And you know what I'm saying? It's like trying to look at it from that perspective is what I try to do. I'm like, what if I thought drugs were like helping me? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, if you can delude yourself to believe that, then yeah, you will believe it, right? Like, nah, man, I'm doing fine. It's like, you are not fine. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't wish that on people. It's unfortunate. Oh, someone said they smoke and do drugs. Yeah, and this is the thing. The line between I've got this under control and I'm fucked up, right? And ruined my whole life.